I do think and I do believe that we will create millionaires and frankly, billionaires. There will be billionaires created and hopefully hundreds and thousands of millionaires in what will be the opportunity of commercial. Commercial is effed. It is screwed. Bad assumptions, bad debt structures, all of these crazy syndicators doing stupid things, they're going to pay up. And it's going to be like guys like you and I that are prepared, that we have these financial, Swiss Army knives. We're going to go pick up stuff 10% down all day long.
What's up, guys? Hope you guys are all well. I got the pleasure again every Tuesday to do an interview here with Mr. Michael Zuber. Actually, he interviews us. We interview each other, just figure out what's happening in both of our markets. So, Michael, I haven't asked you this in a little bit. I mean, we're at the end of the first quarter. We're starting the second quarter. What did you see the last quarter for into quarter one? And what are your expectations for quarter two in the industry in general, especially with the lawsuit, especially with everything else that's happening? What's your take on it? Because, you're a plethora of information and knowledge, so let the listeners know what you know.
I appreciate that. So we're going to have a conversation about the real estate market. I'm going to break the real estate market into the housing market and the commercial market, right? Because we're going to break that apart. Because I think it bears repeating because there's a lot going on. When you say real estate, there's just a lot going on. So let's go to housing first. Let's go to housing first. I think we've learned, we learned a couple things. And again, in Q1, we actually have actuals that show this. I believe as of right now, recording this the first week of Q2, that 7% interest rates, anything north of 7, so above 7, which we are currently at today, is just enough to slow down the housing market. Now, when I say slow down, I mean less bidding wars. When we had rates go under 7, we went right back to crazy behavior, 20 bids, over asking, waiving this, waiving. That is not healthy. So I think we have learned that the consumer, certainly below the median, is interest rate sensitive, and anything with a 6 good, 7 bad. There's still going to be transactions. We're still going to do 4.2 million, all of those things. That'll all still happen. But it's above 7 is just enough that we can start building inventory. Now, when we talk about building inventory, it's fair to say that we've built inventory for 20 weeks in a row. Shout out Altos Research for that data. This is all national. Everybody should do their own buy box, but these are all national stats. So inventory's been building for 20 weeks. We are about 25 or 26% above last year. That is all good news.
Okay.
However, we're still 30% below pre-pandemic. So we're increasing, which is net good, but it's still way below where it needs to be. Second, I've talked about this for a long time and still believe it is true. We have a bifurcated housing market. Generally speaking, without splitting hairs too much, below the median, clean, below the median, on fire. Above the median, and certainly the farther you get away from the median, the slower the market is. It's days out. Like I talked to Adrian about Orange County, like 3 or 4x the median. It's like 300 days on market. It's something like a year to sell a home. It's stupid. So I think the bifurcated market still plays. Also in the housing market, because you're in Southern California, I think there are some markets that got oversaturated with Airbnb, like Palm Springs, that are just going to get annihilated.
Big Bear. Yeah.
Big Bear. Going to get annihilated, right? And that's okay. I mean, if you have bad assumptions and the rules change, losses happen. But generally speaking, the housing market outside of maybe Southwest Florida, outside of maybe Austin and some other cities, the housing market's not going to crash. It's just not. I'm sorry, folks. The national housing market for 2024 will post something like +3 to +6, nationally speaking. Median home price, not a crash. But because you're in the industry, you're only going to do like 4.2 million sales, which is up from last year, but still down from what is normal. And then
Right.
the NAR settlement. Let's round out housing. It's going to add complexity and confusion in the market.
To everybody.
Everybody. It's just like it's going to be like too hard. I think the fly by night pretenders in the business are going to go away. They're going to start OnlyFans channels or become baristas or something else. But the professional real estate agents, they're going to do just fine. I think there will be technology. It would shock me. I mean, I would bet thousands of dollars that Zillow, Redfin, and or others create some kind of 1% listing or listing service or something. I think the buyers, brokers are going to be fixed price or, extreme concierge value. There'll be nothing in between. So that's what I think about housing in general. Outside of a couple of markets over-indexed on short-term rentals, some markets that got over-saturated, this insurance crisis that's hitting California, Florida is real, right? I think it's State Farm. They just said they're leaving California. That's going to impact a lot of people. Rates are going up. I had a fourplex canceled that I had to get reinsured somewhere else. It went up 50%.
Yes, same crazy crap going on.
Crazy stuff. So, yeah, I think, but in general, the housing market, this is my big hope for the housing market. Single family homes is on a price level. It's boring. It's just boring for years to come. Sideways. Dude, I don't know if you saw this, but Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, up 22% year on year. 22%.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
That's nuts. It's not healthy. That's crazy.
No,
but
something's going to happen there too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So in general, I think unlike that, we're not going to repeat 08. I'm sorry, at least in single families. There'll be some great deals. Like if you ever wanted a vacation home in Palm Springs, good luck. I mean, you're going to get there'll be houses in Palm Springs that are sold for 50% less than the last one. It'll be some bloodbaths. There'll be some foreclosures.
And
It'll be ugly.
And what's crazy is knowing that you'll be able to get something super nice with a pool, with everything, and get it 50% off, 60% off. I mean, that's unheard of. $1 million house you're buying for $500,000.
Yeah, and you have a window where there's a lot of crap that comes on the market because the rules changed. Dude, there's already foreclosures in Palm Springs. Like, if you really wanted, like, if I was a multimillionaire and I wanted a Palm Springs house, I would get PropStream, and I would mail all the NODs in Palm Springs. That's just what I would do. But I don't want a $1 million house in Palm Springs. But if I did, that's what I would do. I would go try to get something off market in Palm Springs.
That's cool.
So that's single family. Does that make sense? And then we'll talk about the other one next.
Oh, 100% makes sense for sure. That SFR game, it's slow, steady, wins the race, right? Is that what they say?
So steady, below the median,
Yep.
Multiple exit strategies. I don't think 2024.
You know what I'm seeing real quick? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just sorry to cut you off. I see this market of having more opportunities for sellers that don't owe any, mortgages on their properties and they want to get rid of their properties. You're going to be able to buy these houses with owner financing through the roof. I think that creative financing is going to go through the roof over the next 18 months because transactions still have to happen. It's just a matter of what and how you're going to implement those strategies into your everyday business. So
it's funny. We think alike. We think alike. So I believe in this so much. I don't know if anybody else did this, but Robert G. Allen wrote a book called God, I wish I remembered what it was called. Something like Creative Financing for the 80s or something like that. I went out and found on Amazon a used copy of a first edition. So this book's like 45 years old, and it's 45 years old. It's been well used. But I wanted to go back and get like the nitty gritty because I think you're right. What we're about to experience over the next 18 to 24 months is exactly like 1981 and 1982. We still
Tell me
did
about
two,
it.
we still did 2 million transactions in 81 and 82. Most of those were creative. So
Right.
I wanted to find out what the OG of creative financing was doing in 81 and 82. And you're absolutely right. I think creative financing is going to go through the roof. And here's a gift for you. I have a lender that I speak to every week that will do a 90% combined loan to value loan. Why is this
Wow.
important? Why is my belief that this 90% CLTV is the best lending product for guys like you and me who are creative and willing to work? Here's the deal. I could give a seller their price. I get my terms. Now, what makes up the 90% CLTV is 50% lender money, velocity,
Right.
10% my money. So the seller could walk away with up to 60% cash. And then the seller takes back 40% as the second. So I call it a 50, 40, 10. But here's the power, Omar. I get to set the interest rate on the 40%. So if I'm giving the seller
Okay.
their price, I have already negotiated a 1, a 2% second. So if I take, I don't know, a 9% first and a 2% second, and I smash those interest rates together, I get a blended interest rate way below market. I can
Of
borrow
course you do.
90% of the money below market and only put 10% down and cash flow day one. Win, win, win.
And now let me ask you, 50% lender money, is that a bridge or is that's not amortized? That's
30
interest
year
only.
fixed, 30
Oh,
year fixed
30-year fix on the 50.
principal and interest. You can do 10-year interest only, but 30-year fix, no bridge, no refi period, none of that stuff. If rates go down, refi. They don't, keep it.
Yeah, keep it. The 40%, that's your terms. I'll do 1 to 2% interest only.
Yeah, for 10-year interest only. I would do anything less
Solid.
than 10 years.
Solid.
And, now here's the magic. Here's the freaking magic of this program. I can do these on houses. I can do these on multifamily.
Anything. Yeah.
I could do them on a portfolio. One of the last deals we did seller financing, we bought 14 units, fourplex, triplex, 3 houses, 50, 40, 10 all day long. Give the seller their
Wow.
price, which is about, so in this example, the seller wanted a price that was about 100 grand more than I wanted. However, after talking with them, and this takes conversations. This is not a one call close. We
No.
met him. We did all these things,
Of
right?
course, of course.
So we gave him his price. We actually got him down like 25 grand. So I was only overpaying about 75 grand. But I got the second at 2%
Damn. That
for, I
is so
think we got
sick.
15 years. I think we got 15 years on
Because
that
he
one.
got the price he wanted
Yeah.
of the
He doesn't care.
60%. Right,
Yeah.
right.
He got a big chunk of cash at close. He owned him free and clear. He depreciated him to zero. He got a bunch of money that he can go do crazy stuff with. And he's still getting income. And he saved on
Wow.
taxes and all of these things. So I do agree with you. The last thing I'll say about, and I was going to use this as a bridge so we think alike.
Yeah.
This 90% CLTV, the only person I know that does it is Velocity Mortgage. I work with Stephen Dow. He's on my channel all the time. Look him up. But I plan to buy a lot of units this way. Dude, I could buy 100 unit a building this way, 50, 40, 10. Overpay, get long-term fine. Again,
You know
and I
why?
say this, I get 30-year fixed rate money on an apartment. People can't do that. I
You
can.
can't do that. Yeah.
I can.
Providing, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, providing
Everybody thinks you
the
can't, but you can if you know the right
uh-huh.
people, the right
Right.
lenders.
And
So
anything over the 5 units or anything over 4 units is based on the rent anyways.
yeah,
So the pro forma's there, and then if you're at break even,
yeah,
you know that there's still an upside with 15 or 20 different doors that get increased,
yep,
and now you just
pretty.
bought yourself $1 million in equity.
Exactly.
Or
And
what's that? Sorry, go ahead.
here's the
Tell
last
me.
crazy thing about this program. We talk about it every week. We've talked about it for a couple of years, he and I. But their company just changed their credit requirements. They don't even require a credit score anymore. You could have a credit score of 505 and get this done. All you have to have is 10% down.
What the
That,
flip?
isn't that amazing? It's crazy.
That's amazing. Actually,
Yeah.
that's scary. Amazing.
It's not my money. It's all right. So,
It's true. It's true.
so let's go to the other side. So unlike
Wow.
the residential side, which I don't think is going to have the great crash that everybody wants, I do think and I do believe that we will create millionaires and frankly billionaires. There will be billionaires created and hopefully hundreds and thousands of millionaires in what will be the opportunity of commercial. Commercial is effed. It is screwed. Bad assumptions, bad debt structures, all of these crazy syndicators doing stupid things, they're going to pay up. And it's going to be like guys like you and I that are prepared, that we have these financial, Swiss Army knives. We're going to go pick up stuff 10% down all day long. And it's going to be amazing. So there will be millionaires and billionaires created in the aftermath of commercial catastrophe, in my opinion.
Wow. You know what? We just and this is why we're on these calls, Michael. First of which to get inspired to understand this knowledge that you have in your mind and your brain, and you're sharing it with all of us. And now knowing this information, when anybody sees this, is now it's up to you to implement what
Yeah,
you just heard.
if I was running your business, right?
I
This is
just
what
took a
you
bunch
do.
of notes, by the way, like
Yeah.
all day long.
So if I were you, right, if I had my magic wand and we could do whole whatever those switch live things, I
Yeah.
would be creating chunk money by flipping quality homes below the median. And that's all I would do. I would not touch anything
Yep.
with an ARV above the median. Not a thing. And then I would be stacking that chunk money. And frankly, I would probably, if I were you, I would take 10% of my marketing spend and I would start marketing to multifamily owners 5 to 50 units. And I would be selling seller financing because there's a lot. So there's a lot of syndicators that bought the big stuff. I would try to find
Right.
a baby boomer who owns these properties, who's seeing values fall, but still wants out. And what I would say is, hey, let's talk about creating a win-win situation where where you get your price and I get my terms. Let's have a 10-minute coffee. I'll buy or whatever. I would seriously be taking, because again, I think the magic of this, I really want people to hear this. There will be millionaires and billionaires created by helping out the 5 to 40 to 50 unit buildings. If you can get those, you can do a deal structure where you can get cash flow day one. You can hold these folks. I hate to tell you this. Inflation is a feature, not a bug. So if
For sure.
yeah, if
It's
you
not
can
going
create
away.
it's not going away. Yeah, figure out how to use it to your friend. Either get used by it or use it yourself. And I think there's just a tremendous opportunity. And if I were you, I would bust my ass the next 2 to 3 years. I would try to add 200, 300 units, all this creative financing stuff. And then, frankly, Omar, I would punch out. I would punch out. You got kids at
Wow.
home. You got all this
Yes.
stuff.
No, trust me. I know. This is exactly why I wanted to have this conversation. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, but obviously, the universe has a funny way of unfolding.
Yeah.
And I'm writing all this down, and I'm really hearing what you're saying, and it's so true. And it just started from that the idea for you to get into the creative space. That's where you need to be in the next 2 to 3 years, for sure.
Yeah. The beauty of real estate investing is you've got to be around. If you want to, you make your money when you buy.
Uh-huh.
You recognize it when you sell, but you make it when you
Right.
buy. And you've got to be around where there's the greatest pain. Now, I think the greatest pain is going to be in commercial, not residential. Sorry. Um, but there's plenty of opportunity. And there will be some people who add assets. Dude, I just talked about in the daily financial news today, there are buildings selling at land value. Let me get these stats because I have my notes in front of me. I'll give you the addresses. So, Washington, D.C. office, 1101 Vermont Avenue. Last sold for 60 million, just sold for 16 million.
Wait.
That
6-0 to 16?
correct. 75% off.
What the fuck? Sorry.
Next, Denver office building, Last sold 2019, 437 square feet building. Huge, massive. 127 million. Just traded at land value, 25 million bucks. Somebody's going to make a ton of money.
That upside, that is an insane upside. Like
Dude,
it's
just if
literally
it doubles.
25 million. If it doubles, it goes to 50 million, but it probably is going to go to 100 million.
As long as you buy it right, as long as you have a way to use it. Again, and again, I use these examples because they're big and they're scary, but I want people to hear me. These opportunities exist at a smaller scale. 5 to 50 units, 5 to 70 units. They're out there. They are possible. So again, and you could, again, the next 3 years,
So
it will
good,
create
man.
millionaires and billionaires. It's the time.
So good.
Omar, if somebody wanted to join your team, see what's what, how do they do that?
Guys, follow me on IG at Invest with Omar. Appreciate all of you guys for always listening every Tuesday. Michael always brings the heat. And if you guys weren't taking notes on this episode right now, you know, just the good thing is you can go back to our playlist and check it out. But take the notes, man. I'm telling you, if I'm doing it and I'm putting it in Slack right now to myself so I can review the notes, there's something there. That this is gold that you guys are like letting just fizzle away if you're not writing it down. So thank you,
buddy.
Michael. Appreciate
take care.
you, man.
You got it.